Hello and thanks for stopping by. This is Astroblast for the Atari 2600, released by M Network in 1982. I'm playing this game off of a cartridge on a Retron 77. This is one of those differently shaped game cartridges for the system. It's flatter, it's more narrow, and it has an angular sloped front. This is the same cartridge type as Tron Deadly Discs, same manufacturer I believe. The carts stand out visually in the collection, which is fine, but honestly they don't fit very well in a shelf. Because they're flatter, if you stack more than one on top of one another, they're probably going to slip forward. Having a cartridge stack fall off a shelf is certainly not the goal. Back to the game. This game can be used with a paddle or a joystick. Truthfully, the paddle is going to be the better option here, because obstacles get moving really fast and you need to zip around underneath them. It kind of feels like Kaboom in a lot of ways. They both use paddles. Seriously, the speed of this game seems comparable to Kaboom. I don't know why, it just does. The game also feels similar to the game Asteroids in a way. When you shoot a large meteor, it breaks apart into smaller pieces and they drift in different directions, and you have to figure out how to shoot or dodge these smaller pieces. But there are plenty of differences compared to Asteroids. First, you're operating on a fixed plane in this game. In Asteroids, you're in the middle of space and you can fly all around. With Astroblast, you're just a cannon. You're fixed on a rail at the bottom of the screen and you can swing left or right and get underneath falling obstacles. You're going to find asteroids, bombs, there are smart missiles, and if you get far enough in the game, UFOs will start to send bombs towards you. Just another thing to worry about. The objects here are also much faster than in Asteroids. They are rocketing down to the surface, and although some are slower than others, they all feel really fast to me. You get more points for shooting the smaller stuff, of course, but with the speed of this game, it's not like you have much of an option here to pick and choose what you shoot at. It's just a scramble. It's total chaos to survive. This also isn't one of those games that has a whole list of variations of the game available. This is pretty much just a single-player affair, and you keep shooting and try to get as high a score as possible. You shoot projectiles to get points, and if one gets past you, you lose points. You get a new life for every 1,000 points you score, for your peak score. So, if you go over 1,000 points and then drop below 1,000, you won't get another life when you glide past 1,000 again. It would take the next increment of 1,000. That's sort of the thing with this game, the losing of points. So many things are falling down the screen towards you, you're going to miss things. It's going to happen. So it's going to keep detracting from your score. The next threshold is 20,000. If you manage to get your peak score that high, you're going to start to see UFO bombs dropped on you. So the targets here, they're in the 1,000 increments, and then there's 20,000. I have to be honest, this is a really difficult ask. This game is really fast. You're racing around the screen here like crazy, and even though you have 10 lives to start, you lose these lives really fast. I played this game for a while, and honestly, it seemed to me that getting 500 points is probably considered a good score. I would consider 1,000 points a great score. To make it all the way to 20,000? That seems practically impossible to me. Unless, of course, you're altering the game somehow, or using an emulated environment, and maybe slowing things down. I don't know. This game, I think things are just too fast. Objects get by you all the time, and every time they do, they're just going to detract from your score. So, getting that peak score up high, it's not just about getting it up high. You have to maintain it and get high. It just makes it really, really hard to get a score. Like I said, getting 1,000, I think that'd be a great score. 20,000, no way. Overall, this is a fairly brainless, fast game that's really kind of bland overall. There's not a lot of variation here. The colors are really drab. It has standard Atari explosion sounds, and when you crash, the screen goes red, and you just explode. You're going to want to put on a stereo in the background, I imagine, and maybe turn this volume down a little bit. By themselves, the sounds in this game do not inspire me to want to play this game. I think one of the biggest detractors of this game that I'm experiencing, it's probably the size of the base that you control, that avatar you're running at the bottom of the screen. I've accepted that this is a blindingly fast and chaotic game, but man, the avatar is huge. It makes it easy for you to see racing around, I guess, but it makes it terrible for dodging obstacles, and that's like half, if not most, of the game. Maybe if the avatar was a little smaller, I imagine you'd probably have to slow the game down a little too, just to match it. maybe that wouldn't be a bad thing, because the game can be over really, really fast as it is now, and you have like 10 lives here. Well, that's all I have today for Astroblast for the Atari 2600. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you on another video.